What? Light. So if it is working, I might have asked to switch it off, right? But anyway, you thought I asked. Anyway, okay, guys. So have you guys started? There are different batch mix over here, right? So have you started current affairs reading? Very good. Others, Mohan, are you studying? Yes, Faisal. Current affairs. Yes. But you have to read also, right? There's a reader as well. How to get that notes? They are uploading. Achha, what I write here. No, honey, this they upload. They definitely upload because I first give this file to them and then I come to the class. Telegram, I think. Oh, not uploading. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. If that is not a platform, we'll see what platform it can be made available. That's not a problem. Okay? I'll ensure before the next class you have that. Okay, so these are the things we will look at. A lot of the things is with respect to mains as well. There are some of the facts, but you have to selectively remember for prelims. Other facts, you can generally remember to write it in your answers. So as we move ahead, I'll keep on telling you those things. And please read the reader after the class. I will ensure that all of you get it. First is Sarvam. Now, see, the moment you see any news, you should know what kind of questions can come. A simple question can be, which of the following best describes Sarvam? That can be a question. They have asked Swayam portal, this or that, or this was in news because of what, right? Anyway, let's move ahead. Sarvam, it becomes India's newest AI unicorn, means artificial intelligence unicorn. So we will understand what is a unicorn, what is a minicorn, when does the company become a unicorn. Next is India's statistical database overhaul. Now, a few months before, there was a report stating that India's data is neither adequate nor timely. It comes with a huge amount of delay, lag, and also it is not good enough. That is the report of IMF with respect to India's data sets. Okay, so the government basically has revised a lot of data sets. In fact, we will see that. Also, the government is planning something moving forward. We will see that as well. Basically, in inflation chapter, we have studied wholesale price index, consumer price index. So consumer price index base has been changed, GDP's base has been changed, index of industrial production's base has been changed. Then there is index of service production, which is a new entrant. At the same time, they have also planned for the producer price index, and going forward they may start using producer price index instead of wholesale price index. That is the plan. So that is what we will look here in detail. Next, Ashtalakshmi. Now this is again a question, which of the following best describes Ashtalakshmi? Now of course, if you know a bit Hindi, it becomes easy. Asht means what? 8, right? So the eight forms of goddess Lakshmi that is there, it is depicting that it is with respect to the northeastern region. The 7 sisters plus Sikkim, so that is total of 8. It is about their development. Next is, as I mentioned, index of services production. So there is already IIP. Now we will have ISP. Very important because more than 50% of the GDP is of the service sector. And then last, MSME Day 2026 was celebrated, I believe, 27th June. Exact day is not important, but what happened, what was done, so on and so forth, that becomes important. So these are the things that we will look at. Let's first understand Sarvam, which has become India's newest AI unicorn. So what is a unicorn? A fantasy animal which does not exist in real. Okay, fair enough. Apart from that, in economy terms or in startup terms, what is a unicorn? Yes? Idea level phase of a company. My company is in idea level phase. I only have idea of my own company. Sarvam, it exists. There is an entity. Yes, Faisal? 100 crore. 100 crore Faisal, seriously? 100 crore? 100 crore what, Faisal? 100 crore what? 100 crore loss, profit, revenue. 100 crore worth of revenue. Now, or profit? Revenue. ठीक है? So, isn't this a small company, Faisal? That means 10 crore worth of, approximately 10 crore, in fact 9 crore worth of revenue every month. 10% if you take profit, net profit, 90 lakh rupees of profit every month. Is it a big company? But it is a unicorn. We are giving them a title. Startup of course is small, but we are giving them a title, so it has to be something big. Chalo, I'll give you another hint. In entire India, there are only 132 or something. We'll get the number. Round about 132 unicorns. That's it as of now. I was increasing it to 1,000 crore because I'm saying so much. He's like, okay, sir is insisting so much. Let me make it 1,000 crores. Yes. Online, Zoom pe bhi students are there. Yes, online guys, what do you think is a unicorn? See, unicorn means $100 billion of valuation. $100 billion of valuation. ठीक है? Now, 1 billion is how many millions, Faisal? Very good. Thank you. It's 1,000 million. ठीक है? And 10 million basically gives you 1 crore. So this is 1 billion would be equal to around 100 crore. So we have 100 billion. So basically, what happened to this? Did I take it? Sorry, it is 1 million. 1 billion, not 100 billion. ठीक है? Because this is the calculation. It is actually 1 billion. So now 1 billion basically means 100 crore. Now 100 crore, what you said is right, but it is in dollars. ठीक है? It is in dollars. So round about multiply it by another 100. So that is 10,000 crore rupees. 96, 97. So 96, 97 is what is going on. So approximately round about 9,000 crore or basically 9,500 crore is what you will get. 9,500 crore of valuation is what you will get. But you are also not off the charts, because valuation is not only the revenue of a year. So if a company is making a revenue of, let's say, 1,000 crore a year, that revenue is multiplied by different factors depending upon which is the sector in which it is working. For how long can it be sustainable? That factor can range anywhere from 5 to 10. Okay? So anyway, we are sticking to this. This is the valuation. If this is the valuation, round up approximately 10,000 crore rupees or $1 billion, then the company is known as a unicorn. Now they have come up with another what do you call it as definition of another kind of a startup, that is known as minicorn. So unicorn, as we know, is $1 billion. Minicorn is basically going to be $100 million. That means 1/10 of it. So please remember this also. This might be asked because this is in news. Now, is that clear? Now, how did it become a unicorn? Basically, recently they have taken certain investments. They have taken some investments from the investors. When you take some investment, you take that investment at a particular valuation. So the valuation at which they have taken investment goes beyond $1 billion, as a result of which they have become a $1 billion unicorn. Okay? This is all that news is all about. You can learn a bit about Sarvam. So Sarvam, again, Bengaluru based. Why this is important? See, the highest number of unicorns is in Bengaluru. Out of the 132 that I have said, round about 50 is in Bengaluru alone, close to 30 is in Mumbai alone. So these two cities have more than half the unicorn startups of India. The rest of the half is distributed among rest of the country. Okay? So that is why Bengaluru becomes very important over here. Next, it's India's first dedicated full stack AI. Now, what is a full stack? What's full stack? Front end as well as back end. Very good. So there will be a developer, front end developer, back end developer. Back end is generally more coding heavy, but front end also requires that. So full stack means which includes comprehensively everything. So this is a full stack artificial intelligence. This is a bit of science and tech, possibly valued at over $1 billion, which I have already told you. Okay. So what is a unicorn? A privately held startup valued at over $1 billion. That is the definition. Okay. India is the world's third largest unicorn ecosystem after US. Number 1 is US. Number 2 is China. Number 3 is India. Now this is one that got added, and that's why it is in news, but recently there are others that got added. These are the other ones named Porter. That Porter app is there to transfer your goods from one place to another, right? So that is also present. Now it is given a bit about this, an indigenous LLM. What is LLM? G? Sorry? So what is language model? Of course you train, but what is LLM? Large language model. Okay? It's a large language model which is used to train the artificial intelligence. Okay? So AI is in news. When AI is being trained, a lot of questions, socio-economic issues of this, economic issues of this, political, judiciary issues of this, discriminatory issue of this, issue in hiring, all those things, a lot of issues of AI you should know, because a specific question can come with respect to AI. Anyway, so Sarvam basically have got the valuation of 1.5, which is more than that, and it is basically, it developed India's first indigenous large language model. Okay? So they have certain components within their company. Sarvam large, it is advanced, it is basically advanced reasoning. What is the AI? We can talk with it through our prompts and it gives us a solution along with reasoning, right? There are different levels of various artificial intelligence. So if you are using Claude AI, for example, which model of Claude AI are you using? Sonnet 5.0 or maybe something else? In the same manner, ChatGPT, which model you are using, right? Not just that, under the same model, you will have various levels of research. You want low level, medium level, high level, extra high level. It's just that if you keep it at an extra high level, it is going to use more energy, more tokens. It works on tokenization. So if you have a free package, you use it at a highest level. First of all, highest level may not be possible. Maybe second highest level is possible. If you are using at that level, you may be asked 2-3 questions to Claude. Free asking is over. Right, because it consumes more energy. So Sarvam large, advanced reasoning. Okay. Sarvam small, real-time application. It may not do that much deep research. Sarvam edge, on-device operation. Okay. This is not that important. They may not ask because it's just one single company. They can ask you some thing related to science and tech, which I have told you. Okay, it works on various models, and these models keep on getting upgraded. Why upgraded? Because learning is happening continuously. So one model, how is it different from the other? The previous might have learned from X number of things. Now this one has learned on 2x, 5x, 10x number of things. Next model, more number of things might be involved in that. Okay. Then this Sarvam have Sarvam 30B, 30 billion parameters model. Okay. Sarvam 105B, 105 billion parameter models. So don't worry about these huge numbers. This tokenization functions like in that only billions and trillions only. That is the number of operations that it does. Next is they have Sarvam Samvad. Samvad means conversation. Right. So this is a conversation AI agent. Remember, it is AI agent. AI agent is not agentic AI. This is different. This is different. So this can be asked to you in prelims, AI agent and agentic AI. I told you in the class, AI agent is what?
It's like a bot, sir. It only answers to the question questions asked, it's trained on some limited data sets only. But agentic AI, it also give recommendations. It also
yes, very good. So basically, AI agent is very limited in nature. You ask to book a ticket from Bengaluru to Mumbai, a particular ticket at 9 a.m. If the ticket is full, it will say full. That's it. It ends there. But agentic AI is going to identify the best possible routes. Maybe you can use a train, maybe another flight is there, maybe that flight is cheap, and it is going to modify itself with respect to the changing situation. So that is agentic AI. So this is basically what robots would be made up of, not AI agents. Okay? And that is why they might be very dangerous as well, because then if you got angry on them, so they will also change their selves with respect to the situation. And I think iRobot movie of Will Smith in 2004, that is what can happen. Anyway, this is Sarvam Dub. Dub means converting one language into another. So this is dubbing. Zero short voice cloning, cross lingual speech capability, multiple. This is very important for us. Multiple languages we have. So fair enough. Then they have a multilingual chatbot which they have named as Vikram, named on the famous personality Vikram Sarabhai, which you might be knowing about, right? At least through web series, if you would have watched. No? Take it, good. Yes. Clear? That is all. That's a lot of science and tech also in that. Some differences, agent AI, agentic AI, these things you should know. UPSC with new technology keeps up coming up with things. Once they asked about 5G volt voice over this and that, 5G network, what's the difference? Once they asked about Internet of Things. Recently, I think they have asked about chalo, e-rupee is fine, that's completely economy. CRISPR technology for gene editing, they asked in 2017 and all, and then they repeated the same question. So any technology in news, at least basic thing you should know about that. Next is India statistical database overhaul. So what things basically have changed? One is the GDP base year has changed. Previously it was 2011, now it is 22-23. Index of industrial production has changed. Then two more data sets are there. One is CPI, its base has changed to 2024, and India has now started using the double deflation method, which I will explain. Anyway, so let's come on to this. Why do you need to change the base year? Why do you need to change the base year?
New products.
Very good.
Some of the products may be not added. Like
very good.
10 years, new products have been come and we don't know the price of new.
Very good.
We will add.
You know you were not answering in the class. Now you got all the energy. Very good. That is really good. Yes. Why else do we need it?
Some of the old products are not in production or released anymore, so they are also removed.
Okay. Very good. What else? Well, everyone has said the same thing in different sentences. Right? You people think, oh, this sir doesn't know anything. I will say the same thing, but in different manner. Yes? She is also saying the same thing. Yes, inflation is there. So also what a very interesting thing which we don't talk about is, see, if the year keeps on going far away, it becomes difficult to comprehend. If I say some my great grandfather's payment was 1 rupee 70 years back, it's very difficult to comprehend that 1 rupee with present 1 lakh rupees, because you are very far off. So you cannot keep it for a very longer duration. That's point number 1. Point number 2, of course, some things will become obsolete. People don't use it. Point number 3, some new things have come which was not included over there. And point number 4 is the expenditure on different things would have already changed. Previously, we being more poor in 2011, let's say we are spending more on food. Now we are better in per capita income, spending less on food. So weightages also need to change. So as a result of which we have to basically change the base years of various things. Now what kind of year will you look for a base year? You know what is a base year? So what kind of year you are looking for the base year? What kind of year? Not which year. Very good, very good. When it is not an extreme year, it is as close to normal year as possible. That year you will look for keeping as a base year. So the COVID year of 2020 could never have been a base year because it was an extremity. Right, so we changed the GDP base year to 2022-23. So GDP we all know, correct? What is this index of industrial production? Index of industrial production. Very good. He translates very nicely IIP into a sentence. Very good. But that is actually you have to do an exam. Yes, Faisal. Yes, basically this is measuring the entire increase in the total production. This is focusing only on industrial production. That is all. So this is what IIP is all about, index of industrial production. Now from this IIP, which is not mentioned in this article, but from this IIP comes the concept of 8 core industries. So what is this concept? Out of all the industries that are present, there are 8 industries which are considered to be core industries. The government takes it separately and studies them. Why? Because they are core industries. Because they are core industries, so studying them more closely is required. Let's say you have 1000 aspirants. Now there are 100 aspirants maybe who are weak. You specifically identify in order to provide them something. There are 100 students which are exceptionally scoring good. You can identify and maybe provide something else to them. So you may remove something, isolate something in order to focus on that. So they have taken 8 core industries. Now this 8 core industries together contribute 40.27% of index of industrial production. So in the index of industrial production, there will be tens of industries, but just these 8 constitute 40.27% of index of industrial production. Anyone knows what are these industries? G? Name as in, for example, name as in not the name of the company, the field in which they are working. Like that only, yes. So we call that as refinery. So petroleum is refinery, crude oil is separate. So we have crude oil as well. What else? Nuclear. What is this? Let him answer. Yes. Guns. Iron steel. Steel industry. Very good. He said nuclear, but it includes nuclear power. He said power and all. So you include electricity. What else? Arms and ammunition is not there. It is not with respect to strategic importance or anything like that. You simply identify the topmost with respect to the functioning of the economy is what you can say, and the society is what you can say. Cotton, textile you mean? No, not textile. What else? What other industries? No, you have fertilizers. Okay. You have related to power only you can say, but other natural gas, coal, polluting. Think of polluting industries. You can remember it like that. Think of polluting industries. Pollutes because renewable and non-renewable energy sources also, but this pollution is going to go down because now more than half of the capacity of electricity is non-renewable, so that is actually good. Pollutes. This also pollutes in a different manner, hazardous pollution. This is also there. Then what am I forgetting? There is one more. Refinery, crude oil, steel, electricity, natural gas, coal, fertilizers. Chalo, let's see if we get reminded of during this.
A lot of companies are shifting towards weapons, no, sir.
A
lot of companies are shifting towards weapons.
So that will not be included. A parent company or a sister company, that's a different thing. They will take care only of this production. Like for example, Reliance would be in so many things, right? It's with respect to what you produce, now not who produces it. Okay, when we remember. So see, as I said, IMF gave a C grade warning. It rated us very badly. So basically reasons for upgrade. So this was the warning. Then obsolescence of the base year. It was becoming obsolete. 10 years, a decade, more than a decade was passed. 1.5 decade basically. Realignment with the evolving consumption. New products, old products has to be removed. Need for better inflation measurement, for measuring the inflation as well. And this will help us for precision in policy making. Okay. Yes, so key methodological upgrade. So we have already seen base year of GDP upgraded to this. Now introduction of double deflator method for agriculture and manufacturing separately deflates input as well as output. Yes, what is this double deflation method? Double deflation method. Okay, see what happens is generally there is, what we do is we have the wholesale price index and we have the consumer price index. Now what happens, the thing gets inflation adjusted here and it gets inflation adjusted here. Now this is completely separate and this is completely separate. Okay. Also not just that, if you go into more detail, there is input in agriculture for example, and there is an output of agriculture. So what they will do now is, instead of simply focusing on how much was the output previously, 1 kg of rice 20 rupees, now 1 kg of rice 25 rupees, they will also check what was the input last time. So input last time was 10 rupees and input, change in input now is 15 rupees for example. Output was 20 rupees and now the output is 25 rupees. So they are going to adjust for inflation once over here and again once over here. 2 times they will adjust for inflation. That's it. There's no other rocket science in this. Simply at input stage and output stage, you are basically adjusting for inflation, right? So for example, the institute's fees might increase. Last year, what was the fees? This year, what was the fees? So you are simply looking at the inflation from the consumer point. But when you look at the input side also, then that helps you to understand whether there is an input increase which has led to the output increase, or even without the input increase, the output has increased. Then what will happen? Let's say input cost is still the same, but fees are high. That means what? The owners, the manufacturers are cornering the profits. Is that clear? If the inputs are high and outputs are low, that means the manufacturers are ensuring that even in increased inflationary situation, the people get it at cheap so that they can also stay in the market and the competition. Right? So that is the idea, to do inflation double method of double inflation adjustment. Now also we are applying or accepting this is because the world over this is how they do it. Okay? Throughout the globe this is how they do it basically. Yes. Consumer price index, okay? We know this, I think we have discussed in the class, but anyway. So the base year has changed to 2024. This is consumer price index combined. Now the new additions, I have told you, rural house rent. Right? Previously the house rent only of urban area was taken, rural was not taken. One reason being that rural area people generally owned or lived there in their own house, renting is not that prevalent. Now people are selling off their land. Now people are keeping a huge amount of sharecroppers, this, that, a lot of things. So renting of the house is slightly more prominent. So we have included this. Now basically CDs, VCDs have been removed, tape recorders, radios, all this has been removed, and this has been replaced with online media and with streaming services, that is the OTT. And when it comes to power, you had petroleum, but now you have CNG, PNG as well. Okay? Because that is also very prevalent. Okay? There might come a time crude oil will not even be there, because we will be using E100 and electric vehicle. E100 only ethanol. Ethanol will be there. What is ethanol? This is ethanol. What is methanol? This is methanol. Which can you drink? Which one can you drink? This one or this one? Huh? Ethanol. See, people can drink both, but if you drink, but the idea is if you drink this, you may die. If you drink this, you may not be conscious, but you may survive. So the edible one that is there in the liquor is ethanol, and this one is poisonous. Okay? So this is the change that has happened, and presently they have total 358 goods and services. 308 goods, 50 services are present. Also, the weightage of food from 45.86% has gone down to 36.75%. Considerable decline in the weightage of food. This shows that people's per capita income has increased. Okay? How does it show that people's per capita income has increased? Food percentage weightage in CPI has reduced from 45.86 to 36. Okay, good. If you yourself are not paying attention, then what can I do? You do not understand?
No, that last point, sir.
I am saying that the food weightage in consumer price index has dropped from 45.86% to 36.75%. Clear? What does that indicate? It indicates that people's per capita income has increased. Is that right? Is it right? Yes? Why?
If the capita is increased, means the spending on that will go down, sir.
They are spending on?
Means, example like.
Yes, tell me please.
So how can by increasing the per capita income, the people might decrease their food consumption and all?
Decrease. So if they increase my salary, I will consume less food.
The percentage of spending.
Yes, the percentage of expenditure. So he understood from your point that the percentage of expenditure on food will go down when your salary increases. How will amount go down? If they give me tomorrow more salary, I will say, okay, from today onwards, I will eat less food. Then, or I will eat cheaper food. No, na. I will spend more on food, but my salary increase is more, right? So basically, take for example, if you are earning 100 rupees per day today, almost all money will go for food. 100 rupees a day, that much is needed only for food. But if you are earning 10,000 rupees a day, will you spend 10,000 on food? No. So the percentage expenditure on food goes down. Is that clear? So when percentage of expenditure on food is going down, that showcases that per capita income might have gone up. Okay? Surely. Next, the wholesale price index. They have changed its base year also. Please remember the base year specifically. GDP, this one. Wholesale price index, this one. CPI 2024. Okay? Now they have increased from 697 items to 957 items is what they have taken. So the number of items have increased. Okay? Then crude oil, crude petroleum, natural gas shifted from. Okay? This is something important you can remember. So crude oil, petroleum and natural gas basically previously were in primary articles. Now they have come up with the head of fuel and power and they've added it over there. Previously only 3 items were there. Basically manufacturing, and then you had the primary one and you had the miscellaneous one. Manufacturing, primary and miscellaneous in wholesale. So now what they have come up with? They have come up with a new head that is fuel and power. And they have shifted crude oil and petroleum, natural gas into fuel and power. Primary one still exists. In primary one you will still have agricultural produce, etc., which will still be there. Okay? Okay. Next, important, producer price index. Now the Ministry of Commerce and Industry has introduced producer price index, which is supposed to come from this July month, which has already started. Okay. So producer price index, what is the idea of bringing producer price index? It is visioned to basically replace this in the future. It will basically replace this in the future. And this is the producer price index in which they will do double inflation adjustment. Okay? Price producers pay for inputs and prices received for outputs. That is what I said. How much you have paid for inputs and how much you have received from output. 2 times adjustment of inflation will be done, and we will be using this in the future. Right now, this is also there, this is also there. Okay? But this is in a trial phase is what you can say.
Price will be fixed by what producer?
You can, but not necessarily. Let's say institute fix the price. This much is the fees. You are, sir, I don't have that much money, sir. Please reduce it, sir. It might be reduced for you. So this is just an example. So what happens is, let's understand that there is APMC, Agriculture Produce Market Committee, wherein the farmers come to sell their produce. Right? The farmer needs to register themselves in the APMC. The buyer needs to register themselves in the APMC. Now in APMC, there will be so many buyers and so many farmers coming to sell. Now the buyers will have more awareness, more leverage, and they are, you can say, more aware kind of a group as compared to generally the farmers that are there. Also, the farmers, imagine a situation that they are producing horticultural crops, fruits, vegetables, flowers, which are perishable, get spoiled fast. Plus the small and marginal farmers who are not owning their transportation vehicle or anything. So that farmer brings in fruits to sell to the APMC mandi. Before the harvesting happens, these buyers will have a meet and keep a ceiling price, saying that no one is going to go beyond that price. This is known as cartelization. So then what happens is, tomorrow when the farmers come, the farmer thinks there are 100 buyers, not a problem. I go to first one. The first one says this particular thing 50 rupees per kg. Farmer thinks no worries, there are 99 more. I will ask someone else. But then the farmer realizes no one is ready to go beyond 50 rupees. Now what to do? So now the farmer has an option, sell it at cheap or go to another mandi. The issue is farmer's vehicle is rented. The labor charges will be there, petrol charges will be there. So if the farmer goes to another mandi, how far that mandi is? And then when you go there, maybe there the prices are more or less, you don't know. So the farmer, that is known as stressed selling. Selling under stress. So the farmer is under stress, item is perishable, tomorrow the quality is going to go down, let me sell it. So basically what we say is the demand and supply in the market decides the price. However, the demand and supply can also be manipulated. A simple example, if you take, you will go into the market, the fruits are there, there are multiple shops selling mangoes, but everyone will tell you the same price. So there's no competition only. That's the same price. If someone sells it 5 rupees cheap and all their mangoes are over, tomorrow these people will kick them out. Not necessarily these people, the people will be kicking them out. So when the market gets formed, there is a lot of externalities that is functioning. But practically or theoretically speaking, it's the demand and supply, that is the market forces, which decides what will be the price at which it will be sold. Okay? That is the idea. Yes. What are the persistent challenges? Outdated sampling frames. Now, this outdated sampling frames means because we have 2021 census only, all the data is linked to that. All the, let's say if you talk about the demand, what will be the demand? We have this census data only. Every other thing is an estimation, so there will be an error. Why it will be an error? Because see, in census, this is the diagram for census. This is entire India's population. When you do census, you asked every single person. But intermediary, whenever there is a survey that takes place, it takes a sample set only. Right? So your census is the most comprehensive data. Every 10 years it should happen. It has been 15 years now. Next year it will happen and then the data will come out. So that is a big issue. Next, informal sector blind spot. There are only estimations as to how much informal sector contributes, how much informal sector evades the taxes. These are just estimation. In reality, no one knows. That is why it is a blind spot. GDP estimates, they rely heavily on GST, for example. How will the government get to know that how much sales or production has taken place? Through the GST. But whether you have filed for GST or not, you have GST number or not, are you in the formal sector or not, you are in the informal sector selling things informally in the form of cash, there will be no record of you producing that particular thing. So the government relies heavily on GST, on Ministry of Corporate Affairs, database, other things as well. Okay? Is it clear? So those are the issues. Institutional autonomy and credibility. Basically, this is Center of Statistic Organization, CSO. There was also National Sample Survey Organization. These two have been merged to give rise to National Statistics Office. Central Statistics Office plus National Sample Survey Organization has merged into NSO. So two things have been merged into one. So basically the independence of this and this is gone, and now it has been merged in this. So the idea is only one organization is doing this. Now when only one organization is doing this, there is no kind of check or balance. For example, let's say when we calculate GDP, we use minimum 2 methods to calculate GDP. Why? In order to understand, are we getting the same numbers with the 2 different methods or not? If tomorrow you decide to do only from one method, what will happen? You will not be able to identify whether your number is correct or not. Okay? 2 different methods. We have seen the method value addition, expenditure, income. So we generally use the value addition plus expenditure. These are the 2 methods we use. So if the GDP is round about the same with those 2 methods, means you are doing something right. Right? If you use only one method, how do you know whether you're doing right or not? So there is just concentration which has taken place. Next, employment and poverty data vacuum is there. Okay? Why? Because different data sets are providing contrasting estimates. So if you take National Family Health Survey, different. Socioeconomic caste census, different. There is also a thing about, how true people are. If I am in the informal sector, right, survey is happening, they are asking me, no, I did not have job. Were you employed for the majority part of the last year? No, I was not. Were you employed for at least 1 hour in the last week? No, I was not. Were you employed yesterday for at least 1 hour? No, I was not. So I am unemployed in all the 3 survey methods. Usual unemployment status, then weekly status, and the daily status also. Now, why am I going to lie? Because I might be thinking, if I tell them that I am unemployed, maybe universal basic income comes to me. Maybe some other thing comes to me. The more poor I showcase myself, the more benefits I will get. So there are a lot of such issues. Unless and until things can be formalized, each and everything, even Manrega, even the informal sector, everything when it gets formalized, digitized, then you won't even have to ask the people. You will have the data with yourself. Okay? Measures needed to strengthen time-bound census. Useless. Don't write this as first. Time-bound. Anything should be time-bound only. It's important. Inclusion of caste enumeration, which is going to happen now in the census. Statutory autonomy should be given. When you see, if there is a body which is just an executive body or a part of something, it does not have much power. If it is a statutory body, then it has power. Because then if someone goes against it, the body can take that act or law to court saying that, boss, this is what is happening. You understood this? See, for example, if there is an act which says that, okay, there is employment guarantee. One thing is government telling, okay, I will give you employment guarantee. Let's say tomorrow government does not give you employment, you are unemployed. You cannot go to court. If you go to court, what will you say? No, honorable judge, Prime Minister had come on the TV and said that I will give you employment guarantee. That is not something that can be backed in the court of law. But if there is an act, like Manrega was there, MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act of 2005, and now if you don't get the job, you can reach out to the court, give the reference to the clause in the act and say that I have not been provided the job. Then you will be given the compensation, the job amount plus an additional compensation for the mental harassment that you have faced. So that is why presence of an act becomes really important. Okay? Can preamble be taken to court of law? No? Let him answer. Yes. So what is it used for? What is it? I did not ask what it is. I said what it is. What is it used for? Okay, that's it. Okay, very good. The answer, he is right. Basically, if there is ambiguity with respect to understanding any clause, any article of the Constitution, you can take reference to the preamble in order to understand what was the vision of the framework makers of the Constitution with respect to the things that are there in the Constitution. Okay, good. Capacity building, support for statistical strengthening scheme, protect academic autonomy, preserve internally elected governance in institution. So all these institutions, hierarchy and all, there needs to be transparency in that. Expand platforms such as e-Sankhyaki. Basically, e-Sankhyaki is a portal wherein you can get all of the data of the government of all the ministries together. Also creates transparency in the data. ठीक है, चलिए, clear? So these two were big news. Now let's come on to the next one. Ashtalakshmi Rising, transforming Northeastern into India's growth engine. So basically this news simply talks about the major transformation that has taken in the last 12 years is what they are talking about. That's it. It is data heavy. Some of the things are very important. Northeastern region is emerging as a key pillar of Act East policy and Viksit Bharat. What is Act East policy? We had first, before Act East policy, which policy was there? Before Act East policy, which policy was there? Act East policy has replaced which policy? Okay. Achha, what is Act East policy? Very good. Previously, it was Look East policy, right? But then the government is looking only, not doing anything. Then they change it to Act East policy. Both are more or less the same, focusing on the eastern side, eastern, southeastern side of Asia as well, not just the west side of Asia or the Western world. Focus on east side. So first we started with Look East. It remained for huge number of years. Then few years back we changed it to Act East policy. Okay? And Viksit Bharat. Okay? Why is Northeastern region called Ashtalakshmi? I have told you, refers to 8 manifestations of Goddess Lakshmi, symbolizing. Goddess Lakshmi symbolizes what? Prosperity, wealth, right? Yes. So shift from a remote frontier to India's gateway of south. These are, why I am still telling you, I could simply ask you to read. These are things to be used in your mains answer. This is a conclusion. The above mentioned strategies will lead to a shift from, or has led to a shift from, Northeastern region being a remote frontier to India's gateway to Southeast Asia. Okay? Clear? Yes. Do you recognize him? Guys is laughing here. Right. Connectivity revolution. So how much highways? It's not completely important to remember. All you can remember is it has not doubled. Less than double is what the growth is. Simply in prelims they can ask, it has doubled? No, it has not. It has increased by more than 50%. Yes, it has. Major schemes: Bharatmala Pariyojana, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. This is a 2-decade-old scheme. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. There is an app also. If you find any pothole or anything like this on the road, you can take a picture which will be geotagged and send it and feel good about it. Whether it will be repaired or not, that is a different thing. Okay, but you can send it. Yes. Of course. All are their scheme only. It's just the name has been changed. Right? Some has been improved, some had been made worse. If you ask me what has improved, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is an improvement on the previous scheme. If you tell me what has derogated or reduced or become worse, then MG Narega has become worse under the VBG Ramji Yojana. There are a couple of good things. That means you can pause the work. This is good thing. And the number of days is 120 instead of 100. That is the only good thing. But this will also not matter. Why it will not matter? Because previously under Manrega, it was a right. This was a right to work. If 2 crore people ask for work in rural area, government has to give. If 2.5 crore ask, government has to give. No matter how many ask, government has to give because it is a right. Now it is a normative scheme. Normative means government will decide what is the budget. In that budget, however many can be employed, will be given employment. And that too, 60% will be central government's contribution, 40% state government's contribution. Here, 100% of the money that is going was the central government's contribution. So central government has also transferred the burden on the state governments without any increase in the percentage devolution of taxes from the central pool via the 16th Finance Commission. So this is how you link. 16th Finance Commission recommended 41% of the central pool's taxes to be devolved among the states. Last time also it was 41. There has been no increase. But one of the biggest schemes, the burden has been transferred 40% to the state. Next, it is not an act anymore. It is simply normative in nature. So if an additional person wants a job, central government will say, sorry, I can't. The person can still get a job only if the state government is ready to bear 100% of the expenditure. Is that clear? So you can see that this has basically gone down. Apart from that, when it comes to freedom or right and this and that, that too has gone down. That's a different discussion altogether. That will not be in economy. Okay. Next, connectivity revolution. Please read about the bridges. Bogibeel Bridge, India's longest rail cum road bridge. So basically, railways will also pass and roadways will also be there, but of course from different sides, not like Kolkata tram. Tram, you know? Tram, see, this is a road. This side, there will be tram. So tram will pass, 2-3 bogies, that's it. Tram is gone, you can use your cycle, vehicle also over here, anywhere you want. Tram comes, you move aside, tram will go. You know that this is there, right? And I'm not making any joke of it. It is there, but I think trams are now closed actually. And they will be very slow. They will be so slow, you find some eatery outside, you want to buy something, you get down, you take something, you jump back again. They run on the open road, that is why their speed is not that fast. Okay. Air, water, and digital. Basically airways, waterways and digital connectivity. So airports, 9 Udan airports were there, now 17 Udan airports are basically there. Means which cater to Udan flights. What is Udan? Ude desh ka aam nagrik. Right, it is for providing airway services to a common person. In this, what happened is, have you seen ever that the flight is very short and it takes only 45 minutes to reach, but the flight time is given as 1 hour and 5 minutes. Have you seen that? Not seen that? This is actually the case. Right, next class I'll give you the examples of these. So why this? And when you actually sit in the flight, it takes 45 minutes only. But they are publishing it as 1 hour 5 minutes. Why? Because under Udan scheme, any distance covered within 1 hour is basically should be included. And the tickets will be cheap. Okay? So this is the thing. Chalo, theek hai. That is not our look around right now. When you become IAS officers and stuff, that's when you remember, oh, sir used to say this. Let me find out what's happening in this. Theek hai? Chaliye. National waterways, previously there were 1, now there are 20. Theek hai. Previously there were 6, now in the country there are 111. All are not functional, okay? Chaliye. Next, Act East policy. I have told you, it provides strategic connectivity, India, Myanmar, Thailand, trilateral highway. This is that trilateral highway. Kaladam multimodal transit transport project, very important project. I have been studying this since when I was preparing for UPSC in 2016. And it is still in news every year, because here there is nothing more. You talk about Kaladan project over here. In Iran, you talk about Chabahar project. That also I used to study. Now I am teaching those things. Okay? And these projects are not yet completed also. Chabahar port is in turmoil. You don't know what is going to happen with respect to that. Okay? Yes. Then there are some other scheme, PM Divine, 100% centrally funded. 100% centrally funded scheme is known as Central Sector Scheme. The scheme that are having mix of government and central government and state is known as centrally sponsored scheme. So VBG Ramji Yojana is going to be centrally sponsored scheme. Manrega was a central sector scheme. Is that clear? Sure. Energy and social infrastructure, ठीक है. Dibang multi-purpose project. Subhansari lower project. This is made by my company. Terrible condition to work. ठीक है? Yes, L&D. ठीक है? चलिए. Energy and social infrastructure. हाँ, this is important. Water and 100% tap water available in Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram. But more important is all the 8 states, 7 northeastern sisters as well as Sikkim, they are ODF. What is ODF? ODF. Are? Yes, ODF, sir. It's related to Swachh Bharat. Now tell me what is ODF? Open defecation free. People are using toilet. That is the idea. You're not defecating in the open area. Open defecation free. Okay. There is also a title ODF plus. ODF plus means you became ODF, but you can be taken away, the title can be taken away, right? If it is not consistently the washrooms are being used. ODF plus means you have been ODF and you are consistently into ODF, that thing is functioning for over certain number of years, so you become ODF plus. Is that clear? Now, the question would be, sir, how is this possible that people start using washrooms and then stop? Because there would be public washrooms, many places inside the house, in slum areas it will not be there. So public washrooms will be there. The issue is the cleaning and the sewerage, sanitation and cleaning does not take place and they get completely filled. So people will stop using. So the government is trying to say that they are cleaning it as well and people are continuing to use it as well. Okay, that is ODF plus. Agriculture and rural economy, edible oil. Okay, there are, this is important, 89 GI tags. So you can basically go through the list of GI tags, especially the GI tags given in the last 1 year. Brand Northeast, the state, this is state specific production mission. So Mizoram ginger, Nagaland coffee. So for each state, different product is being targeted. Like you had one district, one product in northeastern state. In addition to that, you also have a specific product for each state. So for each product, the government is coming up with respective schemes. Next, index of services production. So we know the index of industrial production, which I have told you. Now index of services production means it is going to check what is the increase or decrease or the rate of growth of the services. So who has launched it? MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It is also being launched for the first time. So in July it will come, as I said. It will be having monthly frequency. Monthly high frequency macroeconomic indicator. Sometimes they say something, sometimes they say something. In economic survey, there is high frequency data. The high frequency data mentioned in the economic survey are based on daily basis, are based on weekly basis. But here, of course, this is also being called as high frequency. High frequency means which comes regularly at a short interval of time. It is designed as the service sector counterpart of the index of industrial production. I have told you that. Developed by Technical Advisory Committee chaired by, don't remember this. I think you should not. Maybe in state PCS and all they ask those questions. Yes, monthly indicator, short-term changes in the real output, nothing more. Measures inflation adjusted real growth, we know it. Why is there a need? Because service sector provide more than 50% of the GDP. According to economic survey, it's about 52 point something percentage. ठीक है, covers the formal services sector. Of course, what it excludes, that is important. Public administration and defense. So you guys are also providing services, going to be providing services, right? Civil servant, IPS, IAS officers. So they do not include the work that you are doing. Government run health and education, personal services, gambling. Gambling is also not included, or else the percentage will skyrocket. ठीक है, gambling services are not included. Informal sector, of course, it's difficult to include, that's not included. Other non-market activities not captured by the market, which of course will be left out. ठीक है. Base year is important, 24-25, aligned with CPI. So IIP is aligned with CPI. Data sources in services, GST data, administrative secondary data, GST data. See, majority of the thing is coming from GST. Even airlines is going to file for GST. So from GST, all the formal sector data should come. Then you have the annual survey of industries. Okay? So that is also basically there. The annual surveys is also there. Deflators use. Because you want to give the real number, so you have to adjust for GDP. So the deflators use for wholesale trade, WPI, for sector specific services, sector specific CPI. Means if a service is specific to urban area, then urban related CPI will be used. Banking and insurance, general CPI, the combined one is used. For other services, CPI non-food, means similar to core CPI. ठीक है, core inflation. Core inflation, what is core inflation? It does not include food and power. Here it will not include food. ठीक है, it is on a trial basis. Of course, will publish experimental trial indices for 25-26, April 26, and it will start releasing in July. So right now, what the statement saying is, right now when they will release it, they will also release it for what has been in the previous year and April 2026, and also start releasing for the present month and the coming months. That is all that they are saying. Trial phase establishes first dedicated monthly. ठीक है, fair enough. Yes. Next one, MSME Day 2026, Udyami Bharat. Udyami means industrial India. Industrial India. ठीक है, हाँ, it was celebrated on 27th June. The Vice President of India presided over the event at Dr. Ambedkar. ठीक है, this is not that important. Who's the Vice President of India? Okay. Previously, what was he? हाँ, ठीक है, fair enough, good. Yes, so it recognizes the contribution of MSMEs. ठीक है, before that, who was there? Okay, ठीक है. Anyway, they won't ask that. Theme, this is important. Building a resilient, technology-driven and future-ready MSME ecosystem. So you will have to remember these themes for any days that come. Sometimes it can be difficult. 2025 UPSC asked a question with respect to a theme of some environment event or something. They kept everything same. At the end, they changed the last word, which you may not be able to guess. You might be very unlucky to get that wrong. You know, you can't do that if UPSC tries to manipulate like this, but at least try to remember the best as you can. So here the key achievements in MSME is basically mentioned. The National Small Industries Corporation. What is this National Small Industries Corporation? It is present to facilitate the functioning of the MSME sector in India. ठीक है, so this got upgraded from Schedule B to Schedule A, Central Public Sector Enterprise. That means it has upgraded its status as an enterprise. It's a government enterprise. It's a public sector undertaking or a public sector enterprise. Now, where is this important part? Yes. ठीक है. Okay, surely. Let's come to this. So what they have done is basically over here in MSME, in MSMEs you will also have the Khadi Village Industries Commission, who takes care of the MSMEs in the rural sector, which is related to Khadi as well as the village industries, the industries that are in villages, right? A lot of cottage industries start in villages, right? Lijjat Papad started in villages, right? Amul, for example, started as a corporate, right? As a cooperative, sorry. So they take care of all these MSMEs that are there, and they will introduce eco-friendly products, eco-friendly products to promote sustainable livelihoods, khadi, village industries as well as rural artisans. Okay. Products to be launched. These are the products that they have mentioned to be launched. You can just read it from the reader what all these specific products are. Right. Now, the digital initiatives that have been taken for the MSMEs. Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program 2.0. Okay. So under this, employment generation is made. Now this is not employment guarantee. The government will spend money in order to develop the MSME sector. When the MSME sector will expand, more jobs will be created. So that is how indirect job creation or direct job creation will be done. It's not like a Manrega, you come and take the job and money. It will improve the MSME sector, which will lead to more amount of jobs that are there. Okay. Next, under MSME, Samadhan 2.0 portal. What is Samadhan? Samadhan is basically resolving some issue to provide a solution. Now, I don't know, it's good or bad that you need a Samadhan portal. This Samadhan portal is, what happens is whenever you take a contract for the government, anything. So one of my friend in Nagpur, what he does is he gives his vehicles on rent to the MLAs, chief minister, this, that, everyone. Every month he has to go to the office to get his money. Right? Government does not give you money so easily. Now same is the case with MSME. The government is using around, it is a directive that the ministries should utilize MSMEs for their procurement. Right? So now they are procuring for MSMEs, but they are not paying the MSMEs. Now for the MSMEs to get their money back, the government came up with a portal known as Samadhan portal. They have modified it and now it is Samadhan 2.0 portal, wherein the MSMEs who have not been paid can lodge a complaint, track their complaint in order to ensure when they will get the money back. That is what Samadhan portal is. Reports and tracks outstanding dues payable to MSMEs. By whom? By the central ministries, departments, CPSEs and other government agencies that are there. Okay? And these are the people who says model code of conduct comes, so we cannot start new schemes wherein there are dues on them for the MSMEs itself, which is facing a huge issue of credit supply. Okay? So that is what it is. Next, MSME Global Mart 2.0. Wherever you hear the word mart, basically it's related to market. Okay? So this is basically a national digital commerce and trade facilitation platform, because MSME has a lack of market, lack of publicity, lack of marketing, lack of packaging. All these things MSME are not good at. You may not even know a single name of MSME. We buy MSME products only when we happen to come across such products. You might go to some place, you might find a biscuit or let's say chips packet which is transparent, might be produced by an MSME. Right? You don't know their name as such. All we know is Lays and this and that. That's all that we know. Okay? Then MSME testing portal. End-to-end digitization of testing activities. So testing activities, any MSME which is there, which will require testing of various things. Okay? They want to test their portal, they want to test their application, anything they want to test. So there is a MSME testing portal as well. Then MSME Idea Hackathon. This is the presently, I think 5th or 6th one is ongoing. So they keep on having these idea hackathons. Idea hackathons means generate ideas, right? And the entire blueprint around it, and whichever is the best idea will get the funding to prepare a prototype, etc. And then you can basically launch it. So it basically helps you to start an MSME. if you have a good idea. That is what idea hackathon is. Hackathon word previously used to be linked with respect to only cyber security, internet and coding and stuff. Now the government randomly uses hackathon for any damn thing, right? MSME hackathon, startup hackathon. What is hackathon? Come up with an idea. How is that a hackathon? But anyway, these hackathons are there. Under this financial assistance, up to 15 lakh per idea would be provided. He's thinking, sir, I have so many ideas. How many 15 lakhs I can get? But the thing is, your idea should be selected, right? Is anyone from your family a minister? Then it's difficult. Then it is difficult. Or else, if that is the case, then even E100 can come. ठीक है? Chaliye. Clear, guys? Any questions? Nothing? Chalo, then solve this. Yes, first answer, please. I want it from you. Mohan, don't answer, okay? Sir, मुझे तो आता ही नहीं, कहाँ से answer? His expressions are amazing. You will become a great actor, huh? But again, there's nepotism. Chaliye. Consider the following statements regarding Northeastern region. PM divine. Our PM is divine. Let her answer, please. PM Divine is a 100% centrally funded scheme for the Northeast. Third, Northeast gas grid includes Asia's. See, these are there in the readers. Okay? I myself am thinking what is the answer here. But I don't know what this is. It's there, the full form. I forgot the full form. It's mentioned in the reader. But only for road, incorrect. In Northeastern thing, only for one thing, rahega hi nahi. It will not be there. Okay? Yes, very good, Faisal. Now he got the answer. This is wrong, and this is wrong. So this will be the answer. Right? Everyone clap for Faisal. No, don't. Chaliye. Let's move on to the next one. Consider the following statements regarding index of services production. 1. It measures short-term changes in real output. Of course, on a monthly basis, it's short-term only. It's not yearly as such. Number 2. It includes public administration, defense and government and health services. No, incorrect. So A, that is 1 only. Please answer. Consider the following statements. MSME Global Mart is integrated with the ONDC. Huh? A. Yes, what about it? Why? Very good. 15 lakh. 15. She knows. If it is about money, of course. Sir, 15 lakh is what I will get. Where? 2.0 it's given, na? Global Mart. I said whenever Mart comes, I have written market next to it and it was 2.0. Yes. Hai na? So good. So that's about it. I remembered the 8th core industry. What is this? Crude oil, then refinery. Now I forgot which one it was. So, and then there is steel, then there is electricity, then there is coal, very good, then there is fertilizer, then there is natural gas and cement. Polluting. I said na, polluting. Every industry is polluting. That is the core industry. Okay. Thank you.